Hello, my name is Amber Darby. This video is for historical professions and is on our preferred topics for the dissertations. My preferred topic is on the Germans of World War II, particularly on their resistance. I have chosen this topic because in the National Archives there is a photo of anti-Nazi German women whose bones were still inside the crematoriums of a liberated concentration camp. This is important because this photo breaks down so many barriers and stereotypes against Germans during the war, especially for the women, as they were seen by some as Hitler's fangirls. This also shows how there was German opposition taking on many signs and forms, even though it did not exist as one big group. The first article that I analyzed was Peter Hoffman's The Question of Western Allied Cooperation with the German Anti-Nazi Conspiracy, 1938 to 1944. In this article, it is stated that there was German opposition and that they were attempting to contact the Allied forces in attempts to develop a cooperation going as far back as 1938. However, this cooperation does not occur until 1940. While Britain did see that war was on the horizon, they did not really do anything at first, mostly because they didn't know what Hitler was fully intending to do in terms of the war. Even when Germany invaded Poland in September of 1939, British leader Chamberlain still believed that somehow through negotiations they would be able to put away with the war and not have a repeat of World War I. Hoffman concludes the article by explaining the four principal reasons for the failure of the cooperation. One was the declining confidence in the effectiveness of the German opposition between February and March of 1940. Second was the necessity for Britain to secure the support of Russia and America. Third was the growing disaffection in the German army by the end of 1942. And finally, there was the Allied response in the form of war aims. The second article is Ben Israel's Cross Purposes, British Reaction to the German Anti-Nazi Opposition. This article shows more of the visible signs of German opposition during the war, including talks of peace negotiations during the phony war and talks of removing Hitler from power going as far back as October 1939. This article concludes by noting the confrontation between the British and German opposition. While both sides wanted the war and Hitler's reign to end, the German opposition did not want to deal with an unconditional surrender or a social revolution. The final article is David Clay Large's A Beacon in the German Darkness, the Anti-Nazi Resistance Legacy in West German Politics. In this article, the Germans expressed their opinions of the opposition that occurred long after the war. In a survey taken in 1942, 34% of Germans believed that the resistance should have waited until after the war, while 15% stated that there should have been no resistance at all. Meanwhile, other Germans condemned opposition altogether, stating that acts such as the July 20th assassination attempt was treasonous. And in 1951, Western German newspapers warned of a new stabbing in the back legend. Large concluded the article by noting that the legacy of resistance still continued to affect both sides of the German politics long after the war, and that it was relevant now more than ever. Thank you.